Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I feel very snug and cozy and very safely tucked in to my new hoodie that I've made, which is the subject of this video. So this is the Hot Coffee sweater by Waves and Wild. I have loads of their patterns now. They're all digital downloads. It's an Australian company, but they're just really quite often very simple patterns, but you get quite a lot of options within the same pattern. The price is really affordable. They're all like 14 Australian dollars, which is only about 7 or 8 British pounds. And the instructions are pretty good. Like there's a lot of coloured pictures, and they're quite thorough, so they're quite good for beginners. I tend to opt for the simpler patterns anyway, but I do think that there's not that much in their patterns that's like scary, and I think they're all knit fabrics. I haven't seen any with that's woven apart from perhaps some of the accessories. I could be wrong though. I just tend to opt for the knit fabrics myself, you know, for my stuff. And also I've got loads of kid stuff from there, and they do have a lot of kid stuff. And I've made my son like the driftwood dolman sweater about 1,000,000 times, and now I have the adult version for me and stuff. But this is a little bit different, so it's not like a dolman. It's a different sweater pattern called Hot Coffee. So this is the hoodie version with a hood. So you can have it with the hood or without, and without you can either have it as just a regular crew neck sweater, which I kind of like the idea of as well, or you can do like a cowl neck option as well. There's an option to extend it into a dress, and there's also an option to add either a kangaroo pocket or little patch pockets. I haven't done either of the pockets. I didn't have a ton of fabric, so I only bought about 1.3 meters of this blue fabric, and I wasn't really 100% sure what I was going to do with it, but my idea was a sweater like a crew neck without the hood. And then when I decided I wanted to have a hood and do a hoodie, of course that takes quite a bit more fabric, and it is a lined hood, so I needed to have enough for the lining as well. So I did have to cut the lining of the hood in 2 pieces instead of just cutting out on the fold as the instructions tell you to. And also I had to do the same with the waistband, which is just here. Oh, my tummy. So I've got like a seam on that side, and then I also have a seam on that side. So not really a big deal with the waistband, I think, because you already have a seam on one side anyway. So if you do it on the other side and it matches it up and you line it up reasonably well, it just looks intentional. I will say that the one mistake that I made in this pattern was that I cut the waistband fabric the wrong way, so it's not as stretched as it should be, so it's like a little bit tight there, but it's fine, it still fits. But like, yeah, it could do with a bit more stretch. I did think like, oh, it must be a size too small, the rest of the jumper is fine. No, it's just the waistband that I've cut the wrong way around. It's fine. I'm not quite sure how I managed to do that, but I'm guessing just because I was having to, like, you know, use up the fabric kind of strategically so the pattern pieces fitted on the remaining fabric, and I was doing them as well, the waistband in 2 rather than in 1 on the fold, that I just made that mistake. So that's a little bit annoying. Size wise, I went for a small, and then I kind of graded out to a medium at the bottom, which seems to have worked. I could have potentially just got away with doing a small, but I actually think that I do like the kind of, you know, like it isn't super fitted. There is obviously this extra fabric, and it appears even more like there's extra fabric because the waistband is like a bit too tight, so I can't pull it down as much as it perhaps should go, and then it wouldn't, the fabric wouldn't bunch up as much. But it's very comfortable, but it doesn't feel like I'm being overwhelmed with fabric. When I made the Waves and Wild driftwood dolman sweater for myself, I did it in a size medium, and I felt like it was too big. I just feel like I've got like loads of extra fabric that I don't need. So I think if I do that one again, I'll do it in a size small. I took a bit of a risk with this because I wasn't sure if the small would fit, but I think my like upper half is like a size smaller than my lower half, so that's why I kind of graded out from a small into a medium. And that was a fairly simple, like just grading down the side seams, and I did have to Google it just to double check, but I did manage it okay. And then The cuffs were in the small, the waistband was in a medium, the hood was in a small. The hood is very snug, and I don't know if that's because it's a size small, and if I'd gone for a medium it would, I mean obviously the medium would be bigger, but I don't know whether it would still wrap around as much. It does feel like it's quite well snugged into the hood, but it is comfortable and it does like cover me all up. Because the annoying thing about hoods is when they stop like here, so this like front part of your hair still gets wet. That drives me nuts. But I'm not really going to use it in a rainstorm to keep me dry, because it is just, you know, soft fabric. It's not waterproof, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I liked the pattern. I will say, like, the hood, you have the option for cutting out a piece for the outer and then cutting out a lining piece and then putting them together, which is what I did. And I did that because I did not understand the other option, which was for a self-lined hood, where you cut out one piece of fabric, but you cut it on the folded in like 2 different directions. So you fold the fabric at the side and at the top and then cut it out. And I could not understand what that meant. I couldn't understand how you would fold the fabric in 2 ways. And I don't know whether I should have just played around with it, but I didn't have enough fabric to do that, and that would have taken more fabric because it would have been like such a weird shape. And actually when I cut the hood pieces out, they folded in like the opposite way than I thought they did, so I obviously just didn't really understand the hood when I was looking at it. But actually following the lined hood instructions in the pattern was fine, and I understood the instructions. I just couldn't quite conceptualize how to cut out the self-lined hood, so that's why I didn't do that option. Don't know whether it would look neater, maybe there'd be less seams so it would look a bit neater, but there's like a seam at the top, the very top here, yeah, there's like a seam at the top, but it doesn't go all the way down the back, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like on the top of your head, but not on the back of your head. But I do have one more seam inside the hood because I didn't have enough fabric to cut the lining on the fold. So I had to cut 2 separate pieces for the lining and then sew them together and then attach that to the outer fabric. And it worked out fine. So I got good use out of the amount of fabric that I had. Would have been a little bit easier if I had a little bit more, but when I bought the fabric I didn't really know what I was doing with it. I bought this from Minerva. It is this really nice blue colour. I do like the colour a lot. It's very vibrant. It's a polyester sweatshirting, and I got this, and I at the same time bought a light grey polyester sweatshirting, so the same fabric but in light grey. And I got more of the light grey. I got like 2.3, 2.5 meters or something, and that was to make a sweater dress with. And I made the Paprika Jasper dress, which I've already posted, I think. And then to get free shipping on Minerva, you only have to spend £25, which is very easily done. This fabric was quite cheap because it is polyester, so it's £6.99 a metre, which seems like such a good deal these days because fabric is so expensive. So I got the grey stuff, and then I just added as much of this in as I needed to get the free shipping, and then I thought I'll be able to make a sweater with it, and I like just could. So that's why I didn't buy like tons of it, and perhaps I should have bought a little bit more, but I'm so like miserly now when I buy fabric because it's just so expensive. The fabric is really soft, it feels really snug, it's all nice and like fuzzy and warm on the inside, it feels really soft on the outside. I washed it before I cut it obviously, and it washed fine. Because it's polyester, it dries really quickly as well, which might be the biggest benefit of polyester over cotton. Because the sweater dress that I've made, I got that out of the washing machine and it dried so quickly, and I can just imagine if that was a natural fibre it would have just held on to all of the moisture, and then it would have just been so hard to like properly dry. However, it does get very like hot, like overly hot if you're in a room with like the central heating or anything on. You start to get like, I started to go really red the other day when I was wearing the dress that I made with the same fabric, and it just isn't as breathable, and it doesn't regulate or help you to regulate your temperature as well as a natural fibre would, which is one of the biggest benefits of a natural fibre, as well as also not just spreading more plastic into the world. So I think next time I do buy some sweatshirting because I just love like sweatshirting and like these kind of snuggly fabrics. I don't know why, they just really, really appeal to me. I just wish I could find more in really like fun patterns that were fun but also not really childish. Like I don't really want footballs or racing cars on my clothes, personal preference. Yeah, I wish I could just find more of it that wasn't super expensive but also is not quite so high in polyester and synthetic fabrics. So next time I think I might try and get you know, spend a bit more on the fabric. I just think I'm so like scared of cutting it, and it's just so much more expensive to get the cotton. The cotton is like twice the price, and then if you buy a couple of meters you've already spent like 30 or 40 quid just on the fabric, and you think like how much it would cost you to buy a jumper. It just seems a bit, it's not, sewing is not a money saving hobby. Anyway, that is the hot coffee hooded sweater in this lovely blue colour. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please give me a like and a subscribe.